Hi, this is C, and today I want to show you a couple of tricks that will hopefully improve your randomizer, help you save a little time and have some fun with it. I'm gonna show you some techniques that are partially from the speedrun, but also some randomizer only strats. And I want to start with my favorite strat, which is the room 3 ramp jump. As you can see, I'm in Sky Garden, I'm in room 3, and I haven't done very much. I haven't found any items yet, I don't have any abilities. So usually I wouldn't be able to do this room because you would have to destroy some statues and open up a pathway and hit multiple switches. But instead, we're gonna do something a little bit different. We need to get across this ramp. This is the whole puzzle of the room, is to get to this side and then use the momentum from the ramp to get to the other side. But I can also do what is called a ramp jump. That is, for that, I'm gonna jump the ramp halfway up. And then I'm gonna trigger a jump attack by pressing the attack button and double tapping. Like you would normally do a jump attack, and double tapping. But I'm gonna do it at a specific time up the ramp, and there we go. I can jump up. You can run in diagonally into the ramp. Some people find it easier. For me, it's about finding that timing. It doesn't work every time, granted, but it works a lot of times. And of course, you can also jump up this smaller ramp. Here we go, and easy item. And even if you take a couple of tries, you can save a ton of time in this room just jumping up the ramps. So my advice would be take a couple of tries, try to find that sweet spot. It's always it's not the highest point, it's about below the highest point. Just try to find that timing for you, and then cue in a jump attack, and there you go, easy room 3. Now we're gonna up the difficulty a bit. I'm in room 3 again, but this time I've made some checks, I found some items, and I've also found my Psycho Slider. Now the problem now is I can't trigger a jump attack from the run again, because if I run and press the attack button, I will do a Psycho Slider, which means I can't get up this ramp. Now is the point where we can use another technique, which is called item buffering. If you press the item button while you don't have anything equipped, you're gonna get this text box, and during this text box you can do certain inputs that will be transferred to the game. Like you can do movement, you can do direction inputs, or you can do an attack input. What we're trying to do is we're gonna try to put a jump attack into this into the time we have this window. So we're gonna make it a frame perfect trick. So we're gonna run up at the point where you would usually jump your Q attack. We item buffer like this, and then we're gonna try to do a jump attack. You see, it's not that easy. Now it's turned from pretty easy to frame perfect. You can still do it. It takes a couple of tries. It even takes me a couple of tries, even though I know the timing. Yeah, that was almost. There we go. If this is too difficult for you, no problem. There's also a way around that. You can also just use a little shortcut. You can open this passage. You need to go in here in this room anyway to get the item. You can press this switch. This switch will give you one extra passage. And you don't need to do anything else. You can just run through. And now you skipped the bigger ramp. And now you only have the small ramp. Now this trick is not frame perfect anymore. Still takes a bit of timing. But even if you take like 10 attempts or more, you will still save time compared to doing the room vanilla. And again, it's a bit timing. It's not the easiest trick, but it's still Saves a bit of time. Oh, come on. Always when I want to show you guys, it's not working. And there we go. So even I used up a couple of times. Even I did some failed attempts on the bigger ramp. It's still faster than doing the room vanilla. So you could give it a couple of tries and eventually it will work. I'm making it look harder than it really is though. I'm messing up because I'm a bit jittery. There's also an easier way to use item buffering to your advantage in this room. One last try. I've done a couple more checks and now I also found my Psycho Dash. Now Psycho Dash or Spin Dash would work too. Allows us to store our attack by just keeping the attack button pressed. We use that to charge our attack, but we can also use it to our advantage. We charge the attack by keeping the attack button pressed. I'm running up the ramp. I'm using the item button to get an item buffering at the point where I would use my jump attack. So at my but again, and now to break the item buffer, I double tap, and there we go. And now it's not frame perfect anymore. Now it's not pixel perfect anymore. Now you have all the time in the world. It's about as hard as the ramp, ramp glitch without any abilities, or as the ramp glitch without slider. And of course, you can also do it. You can also do it here. You don't even have to wait until your attack is loaded up. You can wait. You don't have to. You don't need it. You just need that to find that timing, and there we go. As you can see, I struggled a bit when it was just slider because it was almost frame perfect on this ramp and frame perfect on the bigger ramp. But as soon as you have an ability you can charge, just buffer your attack by keeping your attack button pressed. Item at the spot where you would use your jump attack and then double tap, and there we go. And even if you take a couple of tries, this is still faster than doing it the vanilla way. So my advice would be put some practice into it, try to make it work. This is going to be the hardest technique that I'm going to show you. And as a kind of a little bonus, usually you would need freedom to get to this dark space because you need to hit the switch. If you hit the switch, you're trapped as well. One little thing you can do is stand on top of these stones, do a jump attack. Now you're standing in the middle of the wall. Now press up, and the wall will push you out. And you can also easily access this dark space. So room 3, usually one of the longest rooms in Sky Garden if you do it vanilla or casual. But with these little tricks, you can be really fast. And yeah. This was my favorite trick in Sky Garden. Next, I'm gonna go to the Inca Ruins and I'm gonna show you what fun things we can do with the ladders in Inca Ruins. So, stay tuned for more. Hi again. Now we arrived in Inca Ruins. As you can see on my tracker, I found some items, including the diamond block. I've already used it. I've already unlocked the first shortcut on the way down. And usually now is the time where I would have to do the whole annoying middle section, but I'm gonna show you a little ladder glitch called the C ladder. C ladder is very easy. You climb up this ladder, you get yourself hit by this enemy, and then you press up while you're climbing down the ladder. Now you're in a glitched ladder state. You can't move to the left, to the right, you can't do anything, but if you climb down into the door, and you're out of the ladder state again, and now you can go into the store and move your way to the boss or get the additional items or whatever. I'm gonna show you again with a little more setup. Just gonna death warp up the stairs real quick. You can set the glitch up when you jump down the first time. Just get yourself into position. The guy will always charge you. As soon as he charges, climb down the ladder, press up, and you're in the ladder state. It's not frame perfect, it's not pixel perfect. It's just press down, press up. And you're in that ladder stage. Now you can also kill this enemy now and then open up the shortcut so you don't have to do C ladder again. but it's so easy. You can literally do this all day. Probably the easiest glitch in the whole section that I'm gonna show you. There's also a setup when you get the item in the room first. So you jump down, you go into this room, you go up to get the item, which is up here. When you get the item, you leave the room again. Now this guy will primarily charge towards you one time. That's not bad. You get him into position. Oh, I actually messed it up. Okay, don't hit the guy. Hitting the guy will keep him off the pixel. Let's just reset, no problem. You go down here, the guy will charge up at you, no problem. Climb up the ladder, the guy will charge from the side. Press down, press up, and you're in the ladder state. Super, super easy. I'm gonna show you one more time, just to make sure, but it's probably the easiest. Ooh. Infinite death loop. Nope. Almost triggered another glitch that I didn't want to show you, but yeah, death animations are strange in this game. So one more time. Go into the room, get the item, leave the room. The guy charges up, the guy charges to the side. I'm climbing down. I climbed down super late this time. Still made it work. Just keep pressing up and you will get into this state. And then you can kill this guy, unlock the shortcut, and no problem. Next time you can just jump down. So there's also the chance that you don't have this guy standing here. Or maybe you're playing in an randomizer seat, or you already killed the guy. And does that mean you can't do sea ladder anymore? Yes, you can't do sea ladder anymore, but there's still another glitch that I want to show you. For that, we are going to move to the singing statue, a dark space, and transform into shadow. Because for this trick we need shadow. Let me just jump ahead real quick. We're at the singing statue, dark space now. I just transformed into shadow. You get there just as you usually would, playing the rooms, doing the tile riddle and all the good stuff. And what we also did is we opened up one shortcut. We opened up the first mini shortcut by killing one of the spinning head guys right outside. We killed this enemy, which is usually standing here. We unlocked this ladder. And now shadow and ladder animations don't work well together. So if we put shadow on ladders, crazy things happen. And for this trick, it's super easy. You climb up the ladder. You climb down the ladder. You keep pressing down. And shadow just glitches through the floor. And there we go. We're down at the section again. And now, even though we couldn't do sea ladder, we can now open up the shortcut, and yeah, there we go. We skipped the middle section again. Just one important note on that: don't forget that there's still a chest inside this room. Don't forget to backtrack in the randomizer, get this item so you don't miss out. But yeah, sea ladder, super easy glitch. Super easy to execute, but saves a ton of time. Yeah, and stay tuned for more, because next we're gonna look at another speedrun technique in Angkor Wat. So see you guys there. Hey again. As I promised, we're now in Angkor Wat. We're at the passage where there's a golem blocking our path. You might recognize this passage. The golem up here is going to block our path. As soon as we go up there, he's gonna go into his invincibility mode and we won't get past him. The vanilla strat would be to use Earthquaker to stun the enemy and then either kill it or run past it. As you can see in my tracker, I don't have Earthquaker yet, so I still want to get past this guy. So what can I do? I can use a technique that's called Earthquaker Skip. Earthquaker Skip works by using Dark Freya. What we're gonna do is we're gonna position ourselves about here so that Friedan is aligned with the edge of this wall. Then we're going to charge up a Dark Freya. We're going to shoot the Dark Freya straight up where the golem is standing, and then we're going to move diagonally up to the right. But we're going to stop moving before we reach the wall. Because if we reach the wall, the guy will go invincible again, and we don't want that. So we shoot diagonally up and stop before we hit the wall. And you saw we hit him. You saw his life meter in the upper right corner. But he's not dead, so we have to do it again. Oh, did something happen? No, we accidentally pushed him too far to the top. That can happen if you're standing too far to the left. So we're going to try again. We're going to reset the room and try again, standing a bit more to the right. So we don't accidentally push him to push him back. So we're going to align ourselves like this, shoot up, and move back. Align ourselves again, shoot up, and stop before we touch this wall. If we touch the wall, it's over because he would go invincible. There we go. One more time. Align ourselves. It doesn't have to be pixel perfect. You just need to be far enough to the right. Up, and now he's dead, and we can move past him. That's how you do it if you have no Freya upgrades. But we can find 2 Freya upgrades in the game. So I'm gonna show it to you if you have 1 Freya upgrade. What happens if you have 1 Freya upgrade? We deal more damage. But also your Dark Freya splits as soon as you hit an enemy. You can't control this, it will just happen automatically as soon as you hit an enemy. What will happen is that we can push the guy with our second projectile. So we don't want this to happen like we had it in the first attempt, where we pushed him to the side. Pushed him backwards. We want to push him to the side, so we're going to stand a little further to the right even than we have before. So that if we push him to the side, we maybe get a double hit with our projectiles. So we're going to align ourselves again. Shoot up, diagonal up, stop, move back. Shoot up, diagonal up, stop, move to the side. We didn't get a double hit, doesn't matter. One more hit and he's dead. Align, shoot up, diagonal up, and there we go, he's dead. It's important you never touch this wall. As soon as you touch the wall, he goes invincible. So you just have to find. I don't even look at the guy or at the Dark Freya. I look at Friedan, and so I can always stop before I touch the wall. So that's how we do it with with 1 Freya upgrade. But there's also the possibility to get 2 Freya upgrades. What does a second Freya upgrade do? A second Freya upgrade makes it so I can split my Freya whenever I want by attacking again while Freya is in the air. So we're going to shoot it, split, and we're going to use this to our advantage. We're going to do what's called an easy Earthquaker skip. What we're going to do is we're going to shoot our Freya to the left. As soon as it's below the golem, we're going to split it. 1 projectile will push it up, then a second projectile will hit him and finish him. So, split, 1, 2, dead. There we go. Easy as 1, 2, 3. Gonna show you again. You don't have to do any movement, just split. There we go. And then he's deaf. And you can just move past him. And that only works if you have 2 Freya upgrades. You can see it in your tracker if you have 2 Freya upgrades when you have a star at your Freya icon, like I do. A little additional technique in Angkor Wat, just right after this. I'm gonna run with Friedan. I'm gonna run out here. This will set my save point into the inner passage. And I can abuse this fact that my save point is now further inside the dungeon. I can backtrack with Friedan, get this chest here, and then I'm gonna die on purpose. I'm gonna use a death warp, and this death warp will warp me forward. But as a nice side effect, now I'm Will. I'm gonna need Will for the next couple of rooms, so I can use the fact that I put the save point and then go on to the dungeon with Will and get the rest of the items. So yeah, even if you don't have Dark Freya, if you don't have Earthquaker, you can use the Dark Freya. It takes a bit of practice, that's for sure, but it's not that hard once you found out the right timing. So maybe you want to give it a couple of goes. And next I'm gonna show you some strats for boss kills, so stay tuned for that and see you then. And we're back again at the first boss. We're in the Great Wall and we're about to face the Sandfanga. Sandfanga doesn't have that much real speedrun techniques you can use, it's just a little strategy advice. Sandfanga will give you 3 different phases, the egg phase, which we just saw, and another one, wow, we're lucky today. And there's also the horizontal phase, which you see now, when he moves from left to right. And then there's the vertical phase when he moves up down. Sadly, we can't manipulate the egg phases. There's always a 25% chance you get an egg phase, but you can manipulate if you get a horizontal or vertical phase. You see me always return to the same position, always between these 2 balconies next on the left side of the little window. And by doing that, I'm giving myself a 50% chance to get a horizontal phase and only a 25% chance to get a vertical phase. The other 25% are of course egg phases. And since horizontal phases are a bit faster, this can help cut down the time on your boss fight. I was very lucky with the egg phases here, but just a little something keep in mind. Just practice always returning back to that position so you can maybe cut down a bit of time on your Sandfanga fight. And yeah, now he's dead. And we're gonna move over to the next boss, so see you there. And here we are again. We made a way through Chula's mansion, found all the red jewels and finished the dungeon. You can see on my HP I already took some hits and now I'm about to fight the boss. But I'm not worried because for this boss we're gonna use another application of item buffering, and we're going to move ourselves to the God Pixel. What is the God Pixel? That's a position where Solid Arm cannot hit us, no matter how hard he tries, and we're completely free to hit him as often as we can without getting hit ourselves. We're going to use item buffering for that, so I'm going to open my menu real quick. Whoops, I'm going to open my menu real quick. I'm going to make sure I don't have an item equipped, so I can trigger the you're not equipped box. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold attack and the item button. We're gonna keep them pressed, and now we're in the attack animation, but because of item buffering we can also input direction inputs, and that way we can move Will without turning around, and that allows us to move to the correct pixel we need. For this boss we're gonna move 4 times to the left and then 4 times to the right, and then we're in the perfect position to fight the boss. I'm gonna show it to you at the in the fight. So in we go. There will be 3 text boxes of RP, so we're gonna press those away. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna keep attack and item pressed. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't have to be very fast about it. You can pace yourself. You can even stop in between. As long as you keep attack and item pressed, nothing will happen. You just move forward a tiny step, so you're just barely at the conveyor belt. And as you can see, I can hit at him as much as I want. Nothing will ever happen to me. Doesn't matter if I don't have any HP left. We just turned the hardest boss in the game to the most easy. So yeah, gonna show you again. You don't have to be very fast. You can of course do it fast if you want. So again, 1, 2, 3 text boxes, item and attack. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Solid Arm is gonna move a little to the left. That's important. You want him to move to the left. The only thing that you can mess up is if you don't keep your buttons pressed, because then will turn around. Or if you move to the left too far, because then Solid Arm will move further. So make sure you count to 4 and then count to 4 back, and no problem at all. And now we're free to hit him as much as we like. And there we go, the boss is dead. We didn't take a single point of damage, and we can now collect our 6th statue. I want to show you one final boss fight, so be right back. And we're back. As you can see, we moved to Mu, and we're about to start the vampire fight. I transformed into Shadow for that. Generally, in the randomizer, you should always try to fight the bosses with Shadow, because Shadow deals more damage to the bosses, and more damage means the boss fights are going to be faster. Like the cast-off boss fights, you can almost always one cycle with Shadow. And yeah, we're also gonna use that to advantage for the vampire fight, and we're also gonna use another technique, which is called the aura glitch. You know aura from the pyramid. Aura allows you to sink through the floor, but you can also move aura outside of the pyramid, and what it does is that Shadow sinks into a puddle and then stands up again, and during this animation you're completely invincible. And you can use that to avoid damage, but you can also do what's called the aura glitch. If you use the aura while you're in an attack animation, and you can see an attack animation takes a couple of frames, so you have plenty of time. If at some point during this attack animation you press the aura button, you're gonna do an aura glitch. The attack animation is gonna get cancelled, as you can see. And you don't have to be frame perfect or anything. It's really just tap these buttons in a quick succession. And what happens is that the game still thinks you're an attack and you're attacking, because your attack animation got cancelled. But it also notices that you're using the aura and you're invincible. So basically, you're dealing damage while you're invincible. And in the vampires boss fight, we can use that to our advantage. If we can predict where the vampires will move, we can go to that spot, trigger the aura glitch, avoid taking damage from the vampires, and at the same time deal damage to them. And this damage you deal during the aura glitch is the fastest you can, because as soon as the invincibility frames from the hit recovery of the vampire is finished, you'll immediately hit them again. So you're gonna see these vampires just melt away. And yeah, you can use aura glitch anywhere in the game, but at the vampires fight it's particularly useful, so we're gonna use it. I'm gonna show you how it's done. We're gonna try to predict the female vampire first, because she's a bit easier to figure out. And here we go, and you see we did tons of damage to her. We took one hit when we were re-emerging. And again, and she's already dead. And you can see it's really tons of damage to do. With the male vampire, you need to be you need to predict a bit better, or you can use it while it moves on top of you. So you can sneak a couple of hits in, and there we go. Both vampires already dead. That was a bit fast, so I'm going to show you one more time. We're going to equip the aura. We're going to predict where the female vampire is going to move. And here she comes. Aura glitch. And we're dealing damage. And another aura glitch. Sadly, I got pushed to the side a bit. Doesn't matter. Next aura glitch, and she's dead. And now we're gonna do the same to the male vampire. And we got really lucky because he stayed on a position very long. I'm gonna see if I can trigger it one more time. He wasn't even standing on a position, he was just moving on top of us. And he's dead. And yeah, made the vampires fight into a much more manageable fight. And for everybody else who still thinks it's too difficult, we can make this fight even more easy. As you can see in my tracker, we found Kara off screen, and we also found the crystal ring, and this allows us to unlock the early Firebird. It's an option you can put into all of your seats, and what this means is that we get the Firebird ability that you usually only know from the final boss fight, and use it during the game. So now we have aura glitch, we have early Firebird, so we can shoot projectiles. Let's see how long these vampires can last. And she's dead. And he can move all the way he wants. My Firebirds will get him everywhere. And there we go. Super fast vampire fight. Super easy. Yeah, Aura Glitch. Another simple technique once you figure it out. But super useful in many different occasions. Yeah, so that was the last thing I wanted to show you in this video. I hope you get something out of it, and maybe you can get a bit more out for your own randomizer runs. If you have any more questions, feel free to check the Illusion of Gaia randomizer Discord. I'm gonna put the link into the description. And yeah, hope you guys have a lot of fun with your next seeds, and see you again soon. Bye bye.